A lot of friends have asked me what life has been like for me since I joined the Air Force. In this video, I'm going to share with you my story about my journey before the military and during the military. The goal of my YouTube channel is to help you be as informed and prepared as possible by sharing my personal experiences and lessons learned. So, if you're thinking about joining the military and want to learn how to prepare, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell on the bottom, and comment below what you would like me to make a video on. Now that you know what my YouTube channel is about, let me share my quick story with you. Official disclaimer: this channel is all about my personal experiences in the US military and does not constitute or imply its endorsement, recommendation, or favoring by the Department of Defense or the US Air Force. The views and opinions expressed herein do not necessarily state or reflect those of the Department of Defense or the US Air Force, and does not intend to bring discredit upon the Department of Defense or the US Air Force, and is meant to help others become more informed on joining the military. I'm John Cruz, I'm 27 years old, and I enlisted into the United States Air Force when I was 18 years old in high school. I've currently served 8.5 years in the military and plan to commission into the reserves or guard when I finish my first enlistment at my 10-year mark. I've experienced so much in such a short amount of time and owe it all to the Air Force. I've traveled all over the world and have been stationed overseas my whole career, from Italy to Turkey and Germany. I've got to attend a lot of really cool courses, meet amazing lifelong friends all over the world, and meet my beautiful Austrian wife while stationed overseas. The military has covered all of my tuition costs for my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, and now my master's degree. Let me just say, the Air Force has been a blessing, and joining has been one of the best decisions I have ever made, and I do not regret it. The military overall has changed me as a person completely and helped me become a better leader, team player, and communicator. Growing up in high school, I had no direction, no plans on going to college, and no idea what the hell I wanted to do with my life. Growing up, I was always fascinated by war movies and guns. Black Hawk Down was my favorite movie as a kid, and is what truly inspired me to join the military. After I watched this movie, I was determined to become a part of something bigger than myself. I volunteered to enlist in 2011 and entered the Air Force Delayed Entry Program for 1 year before I went to basic military training. While I was in the Delayed Entry Program, I met some of the coolest friends who also wanted to join the Air Force and be a part of something bigger than themselves. While I was in the Delayed Entry Program, I led my fellow colleagues as the Depth Commander and helped ensure everyone was physically prepared for BMT. In the Delayed Entry Program, we met once a month for PT, recruiting events, and for any administrative paperwork or updates. The reason I was in the depth so long was because I was waiting for a basic military training class date and a security forces job slot. I was told by my recruiter that every year there are only a certain amount of job slots and basic military training class dates that can be filled. Thus began my first experience playing the military waiting game. I finally went to basic military training on June 14th, 2011 and was assigned to the 322nd Training Squadron at Lackland Air Force Base. During my 8.5 weeks of hell, I served as the first element leader and helped my teammates throughout basic military training. So basic military training was no walk in the park, so for those of you who are attending soon, be sure you are physically and mentally prepared as much as possible. I graduated from basic military training on August 12, 2011, and started my 13 weeks of Security Forces technical training at Lackland Air Force Base. During Security Forces Tech School, you learn all of the basics about the Security Forces career field so that you are prepared for the operational Air Force when you arrive at your first duty station. I will go more in depth on basic military training and Security Forces Tech School in the future, but just know for now that Security Forces Tech School in some instances was more physically and mentally demanding than basic military training. Throughout Security Forces Tech School, you will go through several phases as a class, and over time, you are granted more liberties and freedom to go off base, but of course with certain limitations. Security Forces Tech School as a whole was very fun, but also had its days where you were gut checked. Every day, you were reminded that you need to earn your place if you want to be in this career field, and that you quickly learn how to embrace the suck. And for those of y'all that are going to be joining the military, you will soon learn what that means. Overall, if I could give you one piece of advice, start networking while you're in basic military training and in tech school, and make the most out of every situation. If you can do these two simple things, you will be successful. To this day, I still talk to my buddies from basic military training and tech school and have forged some of the strongest relationships because of the stressful situations we embraced together. During the last few weeks of Security Forces Tech School, I received my PCS orders to Aviano Air Base in Italy. I was so excited to go overseas because I had never been anywhere outside of the United States before. For those of you who receive overseas assignments in tech school, do not trade your assignment for a stateside base, unless you really do not want to experience life overseas. Getting an assignment overseas is like winning the lottery in the military. Only a handful of us received assignments overseas, and many unfortunate ones received orders to Minot or other stateside bases and were stuck there for almost their whole career. So, if you do get an assignment overseas, do as much research as you can on the area prior to you getting there and prepare to travel. If you do receive PCS orders that you are unhappy with, there is also a slight chance you will be able to trade your assignment with your fellow classmates. Do your research though, because I went through tech school in 2011 and this policy could have changed by now, but at the time I went through, many of my classmates were trading assignments with each other. So I arrived at my first duty station on December 21st, 2011 and got to experience my first Christmas alone without my family. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you or sugarcoat it, but it was fucking hard for me being overseas, away from my family for the very first time. One of the positive things though about the military is that it forces you to be able to make friends wherever you go and allows you to learn how to quickly adapt to new environments. My 3.5-year tour in Italy was one of the best times in the military and is the assignment where I matured the most in such a short amount of time. Looking back at my days as a young A1C, I made a lot of stupid choices and I am honestly a bit embarrassed of the person I was at the time and some of the people I was hanging around. Nevertheless, I met a lot of good friends who I now call family at this assignment and traveled all throughout Europe and got to experience the party life. Back home, I grew up in a very strict household and never partied or did anything crazy until I got to Italy. Some of the best memories of my life were made in Italy with my friends I got to travel and explore the world with. During my first year in Italy, I started out on flight as a security response team member and learned about the force protection world. Depending on the mission of the base you go to will really dictate your role and mission when you arrive at your unit. So the following year, I was selected to work in the armory as a young A1C and learned even more in this new position. During my time as an armorer, I was awarded senior airman below the zone and was given a whole new role of responsibilities and was forced to grow as a leader and individual. For those who are brand new to the military, there are several jobs you can apply for in your specific career field at your unit, so be sure to keep your mind open as to what jobs become available at your first assignment, because it can greatly enhance your career and your scope of experience. So during my last year in Italy, I met my wife from Austria and received orders to Incirlik Air Base, Turkey. At the age of 22, I got married and became a whole new person. It is actually quite funny because I always questioned why people got married so young in the military and got to experience firsthand why. In the military, you are constantly moving, going to UDY schools, and challenged to grow as an individual and person in new environments. So in the military, you have limited control over where you will go, and often timing is not always perfect. Sometimes you are just forced to jump into the unplanned, adapt, and grow. My mindset, work performance, and outlook on life had grown in such a short amount of time, and to this day, I'm still shocked with how much I've changed as a person. I think that one of the greatest things about joining the military at a young age is the adventure it gives to you and the constant development you go through personally and professionally. The military forces you to grow even if you're not ready or want to grow. I remember I joined the military to avoid going to school, but quite ironically, the military strongly encourages you to continue learning and continue your education. Thankfully, I had a great supervisor that got me on track to start my associate's degree, which jump-started my hidden excitement for learning new things. Well, at first I fucking hated studying on my days off and doing homework, and ended up paying off in the long run. So be sure to take advantage of the educational benefits the military has to offer. While formal education is still not for everyone and is not necessarily needed to be successful, just be sure to never stop expanding your skill sets and knowledge while you're in the military. On December 10th, 2014, my wife and I PCS to Incirlik Air Base, Turkey. This whole new tour and environment challenges us both mentally, emotionally, and physically. This assignment forces us to adapt and grow even more and step up my leadership skills. When we arrived on station, we were able to travel for a very short duration, maybe a couple months, before the base was placed on lockdown. At this assignment, I started out on flight as a security response team leader. then shortly later became the area supervisor. As the area supervisor, this was my first experience leading other airmen as a young senior airman. Shortly after, I was promoted to staff sergeant and was hired to work in supply as the unit deployment manager. This new role expanded my experience in back office and helped me hone my leadership, communication, and management skills. This job was a lot more stressful than all of my previous jobs because of the high level of planning, organizing, and knowledge that was required on several programs and the high expectation that was expected of you to be proficient on all programs and procedures. Nevertheless, I pushed through, grew, and put forth the best work possible. While we were stationed at Enlisting, we were hit with the ordered departure of all dependents and non-combatant personnel. Within 1 weekend, all families had been evacuated to a safe location and thus began a new challenge to overcome. During this time, our relationships as a unit and team grew even stronger, and I truly got to experience how it felt to be a part of a brotherhood and what it felt like to have brothers and sisters around you that would have your six and that you would gladly give your life for. This is what I joined the military to experience, and I don't think any other organization in the world, aside from first responders, will ever get to experience. It is truly a remarkable feeling to be a part of a brotherhood and have an unspeakable bond that nothing can compare to. On August 26, 2016, I PCSed to Germany and was reunited with my wife. I still remember how it felt like when we touched down back to a normal society, and I remember how it felt to be finally free and able to travel again. This assignment has truly been one of my best times ever and is a hidden gem by our career field. Because I'm still actively serving here, I'm not going to share my current location, but in the future, I do plan to reveal it. I've been able to accomplish so much at my current duty station because of the difference in our mission compared to my last assignment. At my current duty station, I was able to complete my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, and start my master's degree. I've been able to launch 2 online businesses, which I will make future videos on how to do that while you're in the military if you are an aspiring entrepreneur. And I've also been able to start this YouTube channel to document my experiences to help others. When I first arrived at my unit, I started out on flight as a patrolman and desk sergeant. Shortly after, I got promoted to technical sergeant and now serve as the assistant flight chief. I've been blessed with the opportunity to meet amazing international friends, and I've gotten to attend international courses and learn from several different nations and cultures. I'm not telling you all this to brag or to toot my own horn, but instead to share with you the possibilities that you have while serving in the military. Many people think that just because you're in the military, you won't have any free time or a normal life, but on the contrary, I think you actually have more free time in some instances, as long as you know how to manage your time correctly. So if you are going to join the military, don't stop working on your personal or professional goals just because you feel like you're too busy to. If it is important to you, then you will make time for it regardless of the environment you have to work in. My challenge to you is to make a list of goals you want to accomplish. Make sure your goals are very specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. In the military, we call this goal setting objective a SMART goal. The day you stop learning and moving forward is the day you stop growing. One of my favorite quotes in relation to goal setting is to shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you will land amongst the stars. So some of my current goals and future goals that I'm working on is to finish my master's degree before I complete my enlistment, commission as an officer into the Air Force Guard or Reserve, scale my online businesses tenfold, and to increase my investments portfolio by the age of 30. I also plan to continue advancing my knowledge in videography, marketing, editing, public speaking, business management, and leadership. So now that I've shared my Air Force story of 8.5 years with you, what do you want your story to look like? If you're thinking about joining the military and want to learn how to prepare, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell on the bottom, and comment below what you would like me to make a video on. Thank you for watching, and if you have any further questions, please let me know.